We are live on Facebook now. Welcome to everyone who are watching us. My name is Amit. I'm the Chief Executive for GALF. I'm joined today by Neha, who's one of the lead panelists for GALF. And I'm also joined by none other than Deepak Yadav, the founder and Chief Imagination Officer for CEO Lounge. Pardon our background, and as you know, we all are working from home. We did feel that it was very pertinent to get a few of the top CEOs in the country live on GALF so that we can hear from them about what are the current trends that they are seeing in terms of how the industries are shaping up, companies are shaping up. I think there's no one who can really put a finger on anything right now, and no one can predict the future, but we can definitely look at how, from a wellness perspective, different companies, different industries are responding in the current scenario. What are they doing for themselves? What are they doing for their employees? What are they doing for the industry at large? So on that note, I'll probably hand over to Neha, who's going to be the interviewer and the moderator for today. And welcome again, Deepak, to our session. And sincere apologies for starting a little late with the technical delay.
Thanks, Amit.
Hi, Deepak. Well, I am very excited and happy. And yes, sorry for all the technical glitch we had today. Representing GALF here and you being our first speaker for CXO Wellness Quarantine. Well, thank you so much for accepting this. I would like to, introduce you and say things about you, which I have come to know through you and through what I have read about CEO Lounge. But before that, if with your permission, I would like to share about MyGALF, what we are into and how GALF came into picture. So GALF is actually a wellness aggregator. It's based in Mumbai. And as we all know, founder and creator is Amit Vashisht. It's a pan-India presence and it has global ambitions. We provide corporate wellness ecosystem through our web apps, through mobile apps, and we also provide customized holistic wellness programs to different corporate clients from various industries. And as we know, today we launch our first CXO Wellness Quarantine live stream. We would definitely like to know from your side that because you are the one who is dealing with a lot of CEOs from different backgrounds, from different industries. Now, when I say that, I would like to introduce our very dynamic Deepak Yadav here, who started his unique boutique media company 9 years back, if I'm not mistaken, Deepak.
Yeah, so Amit, Neha, thank you so much. It's an extremely pleasant afternoon here in Bangalore. So it rained last evening, so you could hear some new birds chirping around in the lawn, and yeah, so it's pretty good. I saw Amit switching on his air conditioner, so I believe it's getting a bit humid in Bombay, and it should be raining soon. Is that? But yeah, we definitely enjoying a good weather now. We had a webinar this morning where we had 5 very interesting corporate leaders coming and sharing what they actually been doing and so and so. So I'll come to that, but a very quick introduction. I'm a first generation entrepreneur and I started this company, CEO Lounge, almost 9 years back. Before that, I worked in the media industry for about 10 years in India and in Middle East. So that's the only business that I knew. So CEO Lounge is a company which produces a lot of content for the C-level leadership. And then we disperse this content through various mediums. So one of the medium is a monthly magazine that we publish called CEO India. We have various engagement programs, which includes conferences, events, offsites, award program, etc. We have some digital stuff. So through these various mediums, we disperse the content, and the entire company's content is largely between the 3 different verticals. One is the knowledge-driven content, one is the passion-driven content, and third is the community-driven content. And that's what we largely and broadly do at CEO Lounge.
Great. So when you are, talking about all the aspects you cover in your CEO Lounge, Definitely, you have gone deep into not only each CEO's professional level, but also their psyche when you talk about the passion and also the other factors. So, what all activities, if you can go in detail about what all activities do you do, Deepak, and how do you get, if you're using, the wellness aspect in it also for the CEOs and CXOs? So, if you can just throw some light on that.
So wellness is very much a kind of an inclusion into what we are doing. So for us, wellness is not only a physical wellness, it is also the mental wellness. And when you look at any corporate leader, it is very, and in today's digital world where he is actually being watched 24 by 7, and there are followers who want to become like him, he needs to be on the top of his wellness arena, whether it is physically, whether it is mentally. And this is exactly what we're trying to do. So we're actually nudging a CEO, or we're nudging senior leaders in the industry to gain more knowledge by different means. And the knowledge is just doesn't need to be a vertical knowledge, but knowledge on various different fronts. We actually nudging them on picking up a passion, which is very important because people want to become like them. They have followers. And the passion could be of any subject. It could be sports, it could be cooking, it could be singing. We nudge them. Everybody has some or the other interest area which they must bring up and create that into a passionate front. And we also feel that as a senior leader in the corporate world, you must commit yourself in doing something for the community and the nation building in your personal capacity. So that is also the aspect that we look at. So to correlate your question on the wellness, so we are definitely looking at the holistic wellness of the CEO on every personal count that is required.
Wow. So now if I, ask, like, right now we are making history with, COVID pandemic and this lockdown. How do you think, our leaders are handling this challenging phase? Because they already are going through a lot of challenges and pressures. As you said, a lot of people look up to them. They are, our inspiration, but very little know that how much it goes into, reaching that position. And especially in today's time, how do you think they are actually looking after their wellness and handling the pressures of sustainability and survival, if I may say?
Uh, Nice, good question. Yeah, and I've been fortunate to talk to a lot of CEOs uh, on multiple topics. In fact, this morning itself, we had some great insights on how they are doing and what they're doing individually in their different companies. They are looking at any challenge as an opportunity, or probably a new opportunity which is right there. They're looking at it more positively and trying to see that how could they make a change in their working environment, make a change in their business environment, in what is currently happening in the global world. Let me give you some brief examples. I've started calling these globetrotters as the grasshoppers today because they kind of stuck right at their home. But whenever this lockdown gets over, you're not going to see them getting onto the flight very quickly. They're going to wait and watch what's going to happen. So the model of the airline industry is going to change. They're going to suffer drastically. They're not going to fill the seats easily. So capacity is going to nosedive. The prices is going to soar. So you will have a challenge out there because airlines not bringing people. So the hotel have to look in a different way of filling their hotel rooms. So they will not be doing a tie-up with the airlines. They would actually be doing a tie-up with the car rental companies and saying, listen, get in the people to my hotel. While there's nobody going into the restaurants, so they are going to be looking at bringing the food right at your home. So they're changing a model completely out there. Uh, Urban Clap and the other folks, which will see a boom in their business, especially in the beauty care side, may probably change the business by opening the beauty care services 24 by 7 to clear the backlog. So you're going to see a lot of innovations happening in the entire business model, and everybody would look this as an opportunity of doing something different. The hospitals, let's take their example. The people who need surgeries, and if they can wait, they'll probably wait and not go to the hospitals immediately. So the hospital would probably do a tie with the schools or the offices and probably start providing corona-free certificates so that people can go down and live in those places. So you will see a lot of innovation, I feel, happening down in the entire industry, in every business, every vertical, and how they function, how they work. And this is the opportunity that we all look at. So I'll probably look at my own business, where my 90% business is a brick and mortar business, and suddenly it's taken a big hit because I'm in a business of putting people together in one room, which practically is not going to happen over the next 6 months. And needs to now have a complete switch on the business. I can't put them on a room. Can I put them on a screen? And that's a kind of an effort we're trying to make now and do something. So yes, you will see a lot of opportunities coming out of this, a lot of new skills coming out of this as we move forward.
So I'll step in over here, and I think that's a very interesting perspective you gave about grasshopper. So there's one side of it, which is a corporate life where CEOs are seeing a grasshopper kind of attitude. They may not be able to fly, they may not be able to kind of touch, feel experience with their people, but they're constantly in touch. On the other side, of the CEO's lifestyle, and also percolating down to the other corporate employees, there was this aspect that the companies were constantly investing into, which was bordering kind of a wellness in or fitness into sports, right? So you were saying that the whole country was inundated with the so-called runs and the marathons, right? I mean, there were cyclothons being organized, walkathons being organized. India's kind of just, ventured a lot into the triathlon space. I could see there were players like Culfit who would set up their centers in every practical business district to tap into the corporate employees, and they walking into the fitness center, so that their companies don't need to have their own personal gyms. Now, you've been an avid golfer yourself and passionate, cricket enthusiast. How do you see this changing, in terms of both the corporate and also the sports arena?
It will change. There's no doubt about this. And you'll probably have to pick up a new skill out there. The golf needs to get virtual. The cricket needs to get virtual. Let's look at the Culfit business today. I mean, they have tried bringing the entire cult onto the screen now. And you have every trainer. I have never thought about this, that you can actually have a trainer coming on a screen, or a yoga guy coming on a screen and teaching you yogas, or Zumba guy coming and doing that. It's happening, and people have started accepting that. And you need to now understand the pulse of a customer. What is it that the customer really wants, and try to provide him in that particular fashion. Somebody wants to sell a car, for example, and he's not very sure whether the customer is going to go down to the showroom. Bring the car to him. You will have to create and invest into the technology today to make it more convenient for your customer and give that option down to him. Let's look at a few more things around this, Amit. Today customer wants trust. So your communication needs to also change completely. It doesn't need to be the fancy communication. Yeah, I've got a very sexy looking car. What your communication needs to talk about is a trust factor, that this is the car which is probably the safest car for your family. And that needs to build in. Today, there needs to be a lot of belief, or you need to give the customer that comfort that we care for you. If you're sending a policy or an insurance to a customer, you need to tell the customer that, yes, this is probably one of the best policy or the insurance that you can actually buy, which will be good for you and your family and so on. It is not about selling anything or everything to them. So today, building a trust into the customer is going to be very important. Marketing strategy is going to change. The communication is going to change. A lot of things are going to come virtual. So yeah, you may not see a lot of people going down onto the golf course, but you'll have to bring in the golf easier to play virtually or do things like that. Yes.
And just a compliment on that thought, I was part of your webinar of nearly about 300 CEOs in the morning, and that really went very well. So one of the aspects that one of the HR directors said over there was that employee wellness, employee health, employee safety is going to be prime importance, right? And it was loud and clear, but practically by every means and manner from CEO. Do you see that it is making a shift now, and it's going to be a core to the company's, not just the people strategy, could be companies' balance scorecards?
Goes without saying. And then I think this was something which was anyway picking up much in India, where the CHROs and where the CEOs wanted to really bring the wellness and the well-being of an employee as a top priority. And I think this is going to take much more front seat than it was ever before. So no doubt, Amit, you probably, the GALF is in the right time, in the right place. So good times ahead on that. Yes.
Okay. And on that bit, what is, there's one trend which I'm seeing, and we have got a state support on that, the way Indian government responded very, very fast in terms of bringing wellness technology into people's fingertips. I mean, in practically 1.5 months, we have this Setu app, which government of India wants all of us to download. And yesterday I hear they're considering giving a wristband to everyone now. Right. So practically, purely from a health monitoring perspective. So monitoring of someone's health, maybe it is virus inflicted, whether it is other parameters, has become a state agenda now. So is that something you're seeing? You see going to change, bring a cultural shift in the way even we or our elders or the next generation used to respond to the way health and wellness was? Maybe you kind of scan the food before you eat it next time.
I think this pandemic has certainly been an eye-opener. And people have started realizing the value of life, and they're not sure how long this life is. So let's value it and let's try to give it the best. Today, certainly, the health has taken the most important aspect to this. And people want to be sure that, yes, they are healthy. They're eating well, they're exercising well, and they're keeping themselves healthy. I have been seeing in my complex where I stay in Bangalore, I haven't seen so many people taking a walk ever. And I've never seen faces of people who actually now step down and they want to walk, they want to run, and they want to do something physical to ensure that they build their immunity and they probably remain active and healthy. So yes, there's no doubt on this that there is going to be a cultural change in this, and people have started realizing the fact that health is important. And you're only going to see this getting more solid as we move forward. And if we can give them more tips and more areas on how they can do this better, why not? They don't need to probably go and run a marathon for the next 2 years, but they can certainly prepare for that marathon being at the home. How can they do that? If somebody can give me those tips, I'll be very happy to subscribe and hear those and take those tips in. So yes, the health certainly is going to be a top cultural change across the globe that you're going to see.
That's a very, very important point. Yeah. Thank you. Over to you, Neha.
Well, after listening to both of you, and especially, the question I came up with was the challenges and the pressures. And I'm so glad that, Deepak just changed the whole idea of changing it from innovations to opportunities. That's like the whole positive outlook to my question of, the pressures and challenges. So I think it says a lot about Deepak, that how CEOs and CXOs can change the pressures and challenges into opportunities and innovations, which will be the trend which has to be followed after we are done with this lockdown, or the after effect of this lockdown will be, I think, a better marketing strategy and smarter and more innovative CXOs and CEOs. What I could make out from what Deepak was saying, and also the health aspect, which was wonderfully covered by Deepak and as well as Amit. That I think that is going to be one thing which we will appreciate more, which many of us, we have had, very unpleasant examples in front of us in this present um, upcoming times, that we had some incidences where we lost very young talented people because of negligence of health. So I really hope that, we all come out wiser, healthy, and we cover all aspects of wellness, be it mental, emotional, and physical, because they all go hand in hand. And thank you, Deepak, for your insight. And, I have gained a lot from this conversation.
No, thank you. And I think what is interesting about GALF and what I really like the way Amit is doing this is that he understands that wellness is just not a physical wellness. I was reading somewhere a few months back that he started something called a financial wellness, and that's going to be such an important aspect as we move forward, because everybody doesn't have an access to the private bankers or investment bankers. You need to get it right to the middle class, and you need to get it right to a common man on how to do a financial wellness or a financial planning. And this is such an important part today, where people are realizing that the value of life, and so if you can include all these aspects to it, that will become and create a complete holistic front. So that's very important, the way the GALF has understood this and brought this up on various accounts, and just not the physical wellness.
Yeah, thanks, Deepak, for your trust and inputs always. So in the current circumstances, if you look at it, mental wellness, social wellness, and financial wellness are three of our top priorities. We have been directing a lot of our efforts and funds towards helping people, whether it is certain communities which are deprived, including the transgenders, whether it is about, contributing in any other format socially, helping people from a financial standpoint in terms of education as to how to manage their funds, independently, because of, there are financial challenges. Let's get real. I mean, people may not be spending outside, but people are really worried about whether they would have a job tomorrow or not, right? And mental wellness, is needless to say, nearly 80% of the people right now are in a stress-induced anxiety and depression, and they definitely need help. I'm hugely complimentary of all the volunteers, all the individual, trainers who are doing Facebook live sessions, Instagram live sessions, some good, some bad, but at least they kind of bring, our country has kind of become a fitness culture, or renovated the fitness culture. That said, I would definitely like to have a quick fire round with you, Deepak, right? It's one of my favorite parts, and I always keep it as a surprise for you. Don't worry, I won't kind of embarrass you, but I think people want to know what a CEO of one of the leading CXO networking platform really thinks, and at a personal level, right? Okay, so my first question to you is, right, in this period of quarantine, have you found any specific thing that you are really addicted to eating?
Sorry, I really found that I am
addicted to eating.
Kulcha and keema, I think, and a samosa as well, and so we picked up a samosa from outside, and we kept doing this continuously for 5 days in a week. And finally, Preeti, my wife, and she said, I'm going to cook it because can't eat those oil stuff from outside anymore. So yeah, the samosa definitely was one of those aspects.
And, yeah. Okay. So my second question, that's interesting. My second question is, knowing you very well, I don't think so there was any week that you would not travel. Practically 4 days of the week, most of the time you were traveling, you're hopping in from one hotel to another hotel, to one city, another city. How does it feel to be raising up every morning in your own home, on your own bed, and seeing your own family around?
I've enjoyed it, to be honest. I've really enjoyed it because I've been able to spend so much of time with my son. And that's what I devoted my first half of the day, teaching him, playing with him. And this has really been heaven, and I really enjoyed it on that front. I'm not saying that this should continue forever, but yeah, the last couple of months been pretty interesting down with him.
And any one hobby or passion of yours that you've been able to revisit because you were not able to pursue because of your busy career?
Yeah, trying out some new spirits. at more leisure times, so you're not rushing up into it. So yes,
Where are you getting all that? You surely have some contacts then. Okay, all right. Now, the other bit which I wanted to ask from you is that while all this is happening, right, and you rise up every day in the same t-shirt and the same pajamas, what is one dress that you really, really, really are craving to wear? Get me out of this house and I want to wear this.
I think my cricket gear. I think I'm missing that a lot because I'm usually a t-shirt and a jeans guy, and that's what I even wear for my meetings. So I've really not missed out on kind of a dress. But yes, my cricket gear is something which I'm missing because I haven't played cricket for a while now.
Wow, wow. And hopefully you will get to play that very soon, if not outdoors, at least indoors. Okay, what is the parting note that you have for our members? We have a population, nearly 35% of the GALF followers or members are senior leaders or CXOs of different companies. Then there are, nearly 75% of our members are corporates. They work for different firms. And obviously there are fitness enthusiasts. So what is your parting note to them for today?
Well, number one is stay safe. I think very important for everybody because this corona is not going anywhere for the moment. So it's going to stay here, but we can't stop our work. We can't stop our business. So stay safe. Find every way of doing that. Number two is something that you pointed out, Amit, that today people are in an anxiety. They don't know what's going to happen to their jobs. They don't know what's going to happen to their financial health. They don't know about it. They're really stressed out on that front. Try to inculcate a bit of a confidence in these people that, yeah, things will be all okay. Very important. Otherwise, you're going to see the anxiety level really growing up in a big way. You're going to see plane loads of people coming from US because as the H-1B visas get stopped or canceled and the green card waiting list is going to grow up, the jobs really shrinking down in Europe and in America. You're going to see loads of people coming down and picking up many jobs here in India, which was not the case earlier. So yes, keep your team, keep your employees, keep your people intact. Give them comfort factor, give them that trust, and keep building up their confidence. Ask them to rebuild their skills, ask them to learn something more, something different, which would be needed in the future. But be with them. So that's what I would like to give to these guys.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Being with them, is the need of the hour, and that's the best that one can do without maximum effort on that. Well, Deepak, really, really thankful to you for taking out time out of your schedule and being with us today. We'd love to cover you again in future. And my sincere apologies again that because of this technical issues, we had to delay the session. But thanks for accommodating our request.
No, I really enjoyed this. Thank you so much. Thanks, Amit. Thanks, Neha.
Thanks, Neha. Thanks for being here.